Falling from heights. One careless step is enough to completely change the human body forever. Every year people die falling from ladders, rooftops, balconies, and even simple stairs inside their own homes. The terrifying part is how quickly gravity takes control. A fall from only a few meters can crush organs, snap bones, or slam the brain against the skull hard enough to shut the body down instantly. But here's the problem. Most deadly falls happen during ordinary moments when people feel completely safe. Someone taking a selfie near an edge, leaning too far backward in a chair, cleaning gutters without protection. This is where it gets worse. During a long fall, many victims stay conscious almost the entire time, fully aware of what is about to happen while survival instincts desperately search for something to grab. Sometimes there is nothing between normal life and impact except a few terrifying seconds. Drowning, water looks peaceful until the body suddenly realizes it cannot breathe. Most people imagine drowning as loud screaming and splashing, but real drowning is usually silent. The body enters panic mode almost immediately because humans cannot survive long without oxygen. Once water enters the airway, muscles tighten and breathing becomes impossible. But the real danger is how fast exhaustion arrives. Cold water drains strength within minutes while panic burns energy even faster. People often drown only a short distance from safety because their muscles simply stop responding. This is where it gets worse. The brain stays alive briefly even after oxygen levels collapse, creating intense confusion and hallucinations before unconsciousness begins. In freezing water, the body sometimes enters shock so quickly, the heart suddenly stops beating before drowning even fully happens. Entire ships, rivers, pools, and bathtubs have turned deadly because humans underestimate how fragile breathing really is once water takes control. Fire and smoke. Humans are not designed to survive fire for very long. The terrifying part is that smoke usually kills before flames ever touch the body. During a fire, burning materials release toxic gases that replace oxygen inside the lungs. Carbon monoxide silently floods the bloodstream while victims often become dizzy without realizing what is happening. But here's the problem. Heat itself becomes a weapon. Superheated air can scorch the throat and lungs from the inside, making breathing impossible even if escape is nearby. This is where it gets worse. Modern buildings contain plastics, chemicals, and synthetic materials that release poisonous fumes when burned. In some fires, people collapse unconscious within minutes without ever seeing the flames approaching. If flames do reach the body, nerves may burn away so badly that pain disappears entirely, while severe damage continues underneath. Entire cities throughout history have vanished because once fire spreads beyond control, human survival depends almost completely on speed and luck. Car crashes. Humans move far faster than the body was ever meant to handle. At highway speed, a car accident turns every object into a deadly projectile instantly. The human body keeps moving even after the vehicle stops, which is why seatbelts matter so much. Without restraint, organs slam against bones while the brain crashes against the inside of the skull. But the real danger is momentum. A tiny distraction lasting 2 seconds can send tons of metal colliding with unstoppable force. This is where it gets worse. Many deadly injuries are invisible at first. Internal bleeding can slowly fill the body while victims remain awake and talking normally. Sometimes the spine snaps before pain even fully registers. During high-speed impacts, the body experiences forces powerful enough to tear blood vessels directly from organs. Modern cars save millions of lives with airbags and crumple zones, but physics still wins terrifyingly often when speed becomes too extreme for human survival. Electrocution. Electricity kills in ways humans can barely see. One invisible current passing through the body can completely hijack the nervous system in seconds. Muscles lock instantly, preventing victims from letting go of the source, shocking them. But here's the problem. The human heart runs on electrical signals, which means outside electricity can interrupt the rhythm keeping someone alive. Even relatively small currents can trigger fatal cardiac arrest. This is where it gets worse. High-voltage electricity can superheat tissue internally while leaving surprisingly small marks on the skin. Some victims appear almost unharmed externally, while organs inside are severely damaged. Lightning strikes are even more terrifying. A single bolt carries temperatures hotter than the surface of the sun and enough energy to stop the heart instantly. Yet some people survive with strange neurological effects afterward, including memory loss or permanent personality changes. Electricity powers civilization, but one mistake around it can turn the body against itself almost immediately. Poisoning. Humans constantly gamble with invisible chemicals every single day. Poisoning can happen through food, gas, medicine, plants, alcohol, or substances the body was never meant to process. Some poisons attack slowly while others shut the body down within minutes. Carbon monoxide is especially terrifying because it has no smell, no taste, and no warning signs until dizziness and confusion suddenly appear. But here's the problem. The brain depends on precise chemical balance to survive. Once toxins enter the bloodstream, organs begin failing one after another like collapsing dominoes. This is where it gets worse. Certain poisons cause victims to remain conscious while the body gradually loses the ability to move or breathe. Others trigger seizures, hallucinations, or complete organ failure. Throughout history, entire populations have died from contaminated water, spoiled food, or invisible gases spreading silently through buildings. The human body is incredibly resilient, but the wrong chemical in the wrong amount can quietly overpower every survival system it has. Extreme temperatures. Nature can kill humans simply by changing temperature slightly beyond what the body can handle. In freezing environments, hypothermia slowly steals warmth from the organs needed for survival. Fingers go numb first, then muscles weaken, then the brain begins failing. But here's the strange part. Many freezing victims suddenly feel warm near death and start removing clothing even while their body temperature collapses dangerously low. This is where it gets worse. Extreme heat is just as deadly. During heat stroke, the cooling systems inside the body completely fail. Organs overheat like machinery pushed beyond safe limits. The brain swells, confusion appears, and collapse can happen without warning. In deserts or locked vehicles, dehydration rapidly thickens the blood and strains the heart until survival becomes impossible. Humans survived ice ages and brutal climates through intelligence and shelter, but without protection, the environment itself becomes an unstoppable predator against the body. Animal attacks. Humans sit surprisingly low on the food chain once nature decides to fight back. Sharks, crocodiles, snakes, bears, elephants, jellyfish, and even tiny insects kill thousands of people every year in completely different ways. Some attacks happen because animals hunt. Others happen because humans accidentally enter territory they were never meant to approach. But the real danger is how powerless the body becomes against natural weapons built over millions of years. Venom can paralyze breathing. Massive jaws can crush bones instantly. This is where it gets worse. Many deadly creatures are small enough to barely notice before it is too late. Mosquitoes alone spread diseases that have killed more humans than most wars in history. Even normally harmless animals become deadly when fear or survival instincts take over. Nature does not care about intelligence, technology, or confidence. One bite, sting, or charge from the wrong creature can remind humans how fragile survival really is against the wild.